Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com. Welcome to our 2024 ski test. Today we're talking about the Atomic Backland 107. Back again for another season. I wonder how long we'll get the same version of this Backland 107. But kind of no surprise why they keep it going, because it's just such a good ski. Something that's really interesting in Atomic's collection right now is there are kind of a lot of similarities with how they build and shape their Maverick line, the Bent line, and this Backland collection. Maybe the 107 is a little different because there's not necessarily an equivalent width in the Maverick line, and the Bent 110 is a little softer and more of a twin tip, but certainly some similarities among them regardless, and really interesting kind of how they take the construction and kind of gear these for different applications. So you can have kind of some similar lines of skis in their look and their shape, but in how they actually ski and what you use them for, they're quite a bit different. So the Backland line is home to basically all of Atomic's touring skis. This Backland 107, as well as the Backland 100 that we're going to talk about in another ski test video, they are on the heavier side of that touring spectrum. So this is a 182 centimeter length right here. Obviously we're 107 underfoot, and we are coming in right at 1,600 grams. Now granted, this is a pretty big ski, 107 underfoot, so that's actually impressively lightweight for such a big ski, especially when you consider how strong it is, and we'll talk about that in just a second here. But not your ultra light touring ski here. This is, if anything, like kind of leaning towards that side of being a hybrid touring ski, maybe something that you would put an Atomic shift on or something like that. Definitely people out there putting just super lightweight touring bindings on here, like tech bindings, and we can talk about that at the end too. So just a range of different things that you can do with it, but not super light, which means that you're going to get some good downhill performance too. So inside this ski, we've got an ultralight wood core. That's one of the things that differs from those Mavericks and those Bents, is that very lightweight, or what Atomic calls ultralight wood core. And then we get carbon backbone in this ski. So where Bents kind of rely on just the wood, Mavericks typically have metal unless it's a carbon version, and then it's actually quite similar to this. This gets some longitudinal strips of carbon. Combine those two elements and you've actually got a ski that's surprisingly stiff. Sometimes that can happen when you get these lightweight touring skis. They get really pretty darn stiff, which is very interesting. So it's certainly no slouch when it comes to stability at speed or anything like that, especially when you're talking in this weight range. Another element of construction that's pretty unique to Atomic, and I think important in these skis, is this horizon tech. So just kind of some beveling of or three-dimensional shaping of the base of the tip here. You're basically increasing surface area and displacement, which gives the ski better float in the tip. Obviously at 107 underfoot here, we want to have some float because you're probably taking this thing into some pretty deep snow conditions. And then looking at the shape real quick, 107 underfoot, like I said, and definitely a directional profile to this ski. So that's where tip rocker starts, which actually happens to be about where the sidewall ends too. Visually, you can probably see where the orange sidewall ends. And then there is a little bit less tail rocker, both in splay and length, kind of a nod to the directional nature of this ski. We are not in a bent twin tip world here. So that's construction and shape for this Backland 107. We looked at the weight. Really, who should be choosing this ski is somebody who's doing some pretty extensive touring in an area that gets a lot of snow. I love to look at a ski like this and think about how much fun it would be, but here in Stowe, Vermont, there aren't too many days where I would actually justify choosing this ski as my touring ski. Around here, I think I would be a lot better off on that Backland 100. Take it out west or move the conversation out west and it changes dramatically. So if you're kind of a western-based skier or you live somewhere else that gets a lot of snow, this is a fantastic choice. I personally think it's best in the backcountry. I think one of the reasons why I feel that way is, like I said, Atomic has all these other skis that are designed for different purposes, and within resort boundaries, I think there are arguably some better options. But if you're looking for a true directional powder ski and you're not super concerned with how wildly stable they are at speed, obviously you're going to get skis quite a bit more stable. Obviously they'd be heavier too, but if you're not just like a charger and you don't need that super stiff, super strong ski, this could be a good resort inbound ski too. So that's kind of where I would see the Atomic Shift application for binding choice. You can ski it in the resort, out of the resort, whatever, really do anything that you want on it. But I definitely think that it's a contender for a true lightweight tech binding, especially for people that are really venturing deep into the backcountry, kind of going on those longer, more physically intense touring missions. But overall, very impressive. I've always been quite fond and quite impressed by the Backland skis and the power and the responsiveness and just overall skiing experience that they provide. I had my first reaction on the 100. Really, the 107 skis very similarly. It's just a little bit wider for those softer snow conditions. So that's it. That's the Backland 107 from Atomic. Let us know if you have any questions about it, and we'll see you out there on the slopes.